Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Rafaela. It's currently 1 a.m. I just got out of my bed to film not a journal entry, but to let you know of a realization that I had. And I am here to film it because I hope that maybe this could be used as a message for someone else. I'm still piecing everything. It just keeps getting better and better in my head. Before I get into it, I do want to say that I will be talking about religion. So if you have a very set in stone viewpoint on religion, maybe this video isn't really going to be for you, because I have a lot of viewpoints, which I'm not here to get into all of them. I'm strictly here to talk about my experience, and to let you know the realization that I had. And yeah, if you want to argue with anyone about religion, let it not be me, because I don't have the time for that. You believe whatever you want. I'm not trying to change your mind. I believe what I want. Everyone believes what they want and they're happy because that's what works for them. Okay, so a little background for context. I was raised as an Eastern Orthodox, Christian Orthodox. I would go to church every Sunday with my mother. Would walk into church, kiss the icons, take the candle, have the list of the alive and dead, give it to the priest, let them pray over us, let them pray over the names, get anointed, go to confession, have the body and blood of Christ, all of these things, go to mass, I was very involved from a young age. When I became a teen, however, because I had a lot of questions when I was younger, and no one really gave me an answer enough to satisfy my curiosity, because I was very, very curious. To me, it was as though you don't know the subject well enough to be speaking about, because clearly you can't give me an answer out of just because, and that doesn't satisfy my curiosity or my need for information. You're not educated enough to tell me that I should just follow it just because. And so I sort of stepped away from the church, and I've created a distance between me and God early teen years of my life. And then recently, a year or two ago, I felt very lost, and I needed something, I guess, outside the physical realm. I was informing myself on spirituality and other things, but I, take part in a few things, but then never really practicing it, and then kind of practicing it, but nothing really stuck. And so I was like, why? I felt just like this pull to connect to my inner child, and a big thing that came up for me was church and God and all of this. And so I think that was sort of like the domino effect to everything. I took it upon myself to connect to God, and not to connect with God with the guidance of the church or the guidance of priests, but for me to connect with him, because I have gone to church while in this process of sort of getting this connection with God, and it felt really empty for a while. For a really long time, it felt very empty. I found that church was a very peaceful place. I loved the singing, I loved the praying, I loved everyone coming together and having that sense of community, and realizing that there's something much greater than us. I absolutely loved that, but inside I felt like there was no actual connection, no direct connection between me and God. So I felt alone, even standing in his house. Well, not, his house. It felt very by myself. And so I went out of my way to try and build this connection without knowing what was going to happen. And over some time, I developed this thing of it's in God's hands, right? it's in God's hands. He will decide. That was when uncertainty rose up. That was when I would, ask if I was on the right path and I needed confirmation. It's in God's hands. And a while back, I remember saying that I gave something for him to hold on to because I just couldn't. I don't know what to do with it. So I gave it to him and trusted that whatever the outcome will be is where I'm supposed to go. And I have placed my trust in him that I am under his umbrella of protection and that I will be guided with love and light. So if I lose out on things, if things get taken away from me, if my whole world crumbles and breaks at my feet, that's fine. That's supposed to happen. I place all my trust in God. But I asked him to give me a few signs to see if, we're still building that relationship. I don't go to him to pray just when I need things. I want to set the foundation of a father and daughter relationship. So that means talking to you about my day-to-day, keeping you in mind in my day, not just living this individualistic life of I'm living it because I see it through my eyes and this is what I want to do in my life and how I want to live my life, and then you're just there in the background for when things go wrong and when I need to pray to you for things to be better. No. So I asked for signs just to make sure that, we're communicating, we're going back and forth, right? And I think that this is where it all comes together. That tonight I got a sign and I'm very happy about it. I got some sort of confirmation and some sort of sign, and I want to share it with everyone. A few weeks ago, I was watching this podcast and it was with Madonna, and she was in an interview and she was basically talking about her spiritual journey for over 20 something years, blah 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 blah, and she says something along the lines of like what she has is not hers, is not owned by her talent is not hers, it's magic, is from God. She just channels it. She's a vessel for that talent, but she doesn't own it, she manages it. Does that make sense? Tonight I was on TikTok and I was scrolling. I've been seeing a lot of UFC fights, and I've seen this fighter, I forgot his name, I really like him though, where he does this thing before a fight or after, he goes like, as in to say, it's not me, it's God. And then scrolling more, I came across this one girl and she was like, I'm here to share a message with you, blah blah, and she used the same interview with Madonna that I watched to sort of explain her message further, right? And when I heard that, I was like, oh my God, I know what she's talking about. I completely know what she's talking about. I've also watched that. That makes sense. That for me was, you've seen that, you knew of that, this is just a reminder of that. And then it all clicked, and that's why I feel like I'm having a realization, because all of those things I've watched individually, but tonight they all came together. They all needed to come together to give this message that is not me. It doesn't exist for me to say I've created this whole life for myself, I've done everything by myself, this is my success. No, not at all. This is not because of me. It doesn't exist to be because of me, because it's not me, it's God. It's literally like I understand that now. I understand that quote now. Do you know what I mean? I get it now. Like, what resonates so much is, how do I say it, like, our gifts don't originate from us, they move through us. you're a vessel and God is the giver, and your talent is a tool, not a possession. Does that make sense? Nothing happens just with you for you to be just alone in one single thing. Nothing, whether let's say you don't believe in God, still God would think of yourself as a cup, right? You're an empty cup. God pours into you, fills you up. Once you're full, once your cup is full, it's not for you to just keep it full for yourself. It's for you to then share it with everyone else, because you're going to go through life and you're going to meet people with really empty cups. You have the power to fill their cup. Do you understand? Does that make sense? And even if you don't have a connection to God and your cup is empty, you're very likely to meet someone that does have that connection with God. And because God filled their cup, they're now gonna use, because they're a vessel, use the talent that was entrusted with them, use the knowledge that was entrusted within them, and share it with the world. I think that could also be used when the church says, like, let Jesus Christ live through you. That's a way for God to live through you, for you to bring God into your life. And not in the way where I sit here and I tell you that you should believe in God and that you should believe in my God or my religion, or it doesn't even have to be anything religious wise. Think about the things that you admire in someone and how you would also want to possess those traits for yourself. That is God filling their cup and then them filling your cup. They inspire you to make a change, right? Does that make sense? I feel like when we live our life with, I did this all on my own and I created my success and I earned it with my hard work and my greatness, I feel like that's something that could hold your blessings back. Not acknowledging God as part of your life, not acknowledging that there's a higher being, that there's a source way bigger than you. You not acknowledging that and having that individualistic mindset, that could easily get in the way of you blocking your own blessings. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like that was a big realization for me, to understand that it's not me, it's God, and to understand that I'm not here by myself. No matter how lonely I feel, no matter how alone I am, no matter how trapped I feel in a moment in my life, I'm not going through it alone. I have God and He's guiding me, and I'm supposed to go through these things, because sooner or later, if it's not meant to me, it's gonna get removed anyways. I have no doubt about that. And if it doesn't get removed tomorrow, in a week, maybe it's because I still need to learn something. Maybe that's God's way of trying to fill up my cup so that I get a certain lesson from it, a certain lesson that I can then make a difference to my life with and to the lives of other people. But yeah, I come to understand this in my own truth, in my own way, which is that you are not the owner of your blessings, you are the manager of what God has entrusted in you. And when you begin to be a manager to this vessel that God fills up with His blessings and knowledge and love and light and everything, you go from, you stop fearing loss. Like I said, what's supposed to be will be, what won't will get taken out. you stop comparing yourself, because comparison is the killer of joy, and you don't have time to look around and compare yourself. How could you compare your life to someone else's and compare what you're doing to what they're doing, thinking that you're not doing so well because they're doing better than you, when you are being led and guided by God himself? Do you understand? Like, you can't, you know. Yeah, you recognize that if it's God, then he will sustain it. If it's God, then he will guide you. If it's God, then he will provide it. If it's meant to be and God thinks it's meant to be, then it is meant to be, and it will be. And your job is to be available and to stay aligned and to stay alert and to catch on to the messages and the reminders and the signs, and to have that relationship with him, and in which you can fully trust. And how beautiful is that, to have that amount of trust, and how good it feels to not have to worry, because you're so guided, you're aligned. There's nothing that could get between you and your life and anything that you're doing, because everything that you're doing is being led by God. And yeah, I come to the end of my realization by saying that in whatever you think you're alone in, you're absolutely not. Whatever tough time you're going through, everything that you desire past the negative, if it's meant for you, it will be for you. No matter if you can't see a way out, no matter how dark it seems, what is meant for you will absolutely find you, and you will get it. And trust that you're not alone. Okay, that's it for me. I'm gonna go to bed now because it's very late, but I hope that you enjoy your day and that you take very good care of yourselves. Bye.